Hello and welcome to Crafting with Jane. We're going to make a card today, and I'm using the indigo blue stencil, which is from Leona's Dream box kit number 3. And I've got a piece of cardstock which measures 6 inches by 4 inches, and I've got the stencil, and I'm going to be using some, let me have a look and see what colours I think I'm going to be using. I think I'm just going to use some blues. So I want a, because what I've done is I've cut some scraps, and those scraps are all in that sort of coloured blue. So I'm going to use some of those, and I love that sort of blue. So I want to try and take some colours that are going to complement that blue. So that one will. I think I want one that's a bit darker. So let's take this. I'm going to try and get down in. Excuse me if I knock the camera. I'm just trying to take an ink, and it's right down at the bottom. So I'm going to use that one because I think that will work quite nicely with it. And then maybe a bit of a green I think might work. So we're going to try those 3 and just see how they tone in. Excuse me. I've got sponge daubers, and I'm going to take that one, which is a bluey green one, and I can always put some other ones out if needs be. So let me just put this in on here so it's out of the way. And I'm going to take, and I want to cover the background in this stencil, so let me take my pieces out of the way. And I think I'm going to start palest first. I don't know what I've actually got on here, so I might just see what I've got in on here. Oh yes, I've still got quite a bit on here. I don't know what colour this was. It is a blue, so that's fine. So I'm literally just going to use what I've got on here and pop that one on there. And we'll have a bit of this one in on here, I think. It's going to be quite pale because I'm only using what I've got left on this sponge dauber, which is fine. So that's quite pretty. Now I'm going to take some of this green, and I want to take some little bits and bobs in on here. Let's put that one this way. Should we have that coming up? That from the bottom, I think. Because I think that, with a bit of luck, will come up slightly sort of green. Yes, that's quite good. I want to put a little bit of something down in on the bottom. So let's have some of these words and things in here. Like that. I'm literally just sort of playing around with the stencils in on here to see how they look. Let's do one coming up from here. Take it a bit lower. It's got the green in on it. Like that. That's quite nice because it's bringing in the other colours, which is quite good. Let's just have some of these sort of words and things in on here. Oops, I knocked that one on there, didn't I? Hopefully not enough to move. Oh, that's quite pretty. There's some sort of words in on here as well, aren't there? Take a few of those. And it's just a matter of adding just little bits and pieces in here as you go. That's quite pretty along there. I'm going to do that in the darker, like that. Just quite nice. Then I'm going to take some of this darker one because I want to just add some bits of all sorts in here, because then hopefully it'll blend it through quite nicely. So I want to take this one up in. Let's see if we can get some of this up in on here. This should be quite dark. Just going to take some of that up like this. See what that looks like. Oh yes, that's okay, isn't it? And then we can have a few of these ones just down on here. Like that. What can we have? What haven't we got? How about this bit in? Let's see if we can just take a piece that comes up that way. It's quite nice doing these where you don't have to overly worry about what you're doing. You're just making some pretty patterns that are coming up. Can you see the difference in the colours as well, which is quite nice? Quite like this sort of wordy bits on here. Maybe a little bit of this flower down on there. I think that's probably, I'm just looking to see just little tiny bits in on little spaces. Can you see where there's sort of little tiny spaces down on here? So you can do just a little bit of extra patterning to just bring in little bits here and there that you want to just sort of bring in there nicely. Okay, that's going to be fine on there. Now what I want to do is I just want to take in some of this, and I'm just using what's left on this brush to just take it down. I don't want to do too much on it, so darker in on your corners and then blend it across, because then you're going to have more of a colour coming through on there. So again, just take it from the corner, blend it across from this corner, blend it across, blend that up like that. That's quite nice. I think that's going to work quite well. Now what I want to do is I'm just going to take some of the other colours and I'm going to blend them across a little bit. So I quite like this green because that will take in some of the colour. So I'm going to take a little bit of this one and just take it in from here. And just sort of bring it across on, take it in from the edges and then just bring it across from here. Now you can use a blending brush if you want to. It would give it a little bit more of a solid look, as it were. But if you're wanting to do it just a little bit, can you see how that's got three different colours sort of coming through? And that's what I wanted to achieve on there. So I'm going to take those to one side for a minute and then take these little, I've just done these as 1-inch strips. So what I want to do on these is to just put them just across. So they're 1 inch by 1 inch. And I've literally just used the tiny little pieces that were left over. And what I'm trying to do is make sure that I haven't got things that are too close of the same pattern together, because I want them to come separately, which I think is quite nice. Might swap those over, put that one there, bring that one down and move this one up there. I think that will work quite well. Swap this one with this one, I think. Put that one down there, that's better. So you just play around with the patterns and things, so you've got things the way you want them to sort of flow. Might actually have that running that way. That's quite nice, isn't it? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stick these down. Now, I'm not worried about whether they are going to be absolutely precise or not. but I do want them to be, we're going to take some colours and things and put them round. So I'm just going to take them about to there. So I want that to be about the size of the border in on there. So I can then take this one at the bottom. I'm going to do my 4 corners first. So I'm going to take and look at that and look at that to there. And as I say, I'm only doing it slightly what you call it, just getting it as evenly on those 4 corners as I can. So I can take that one to there, then this is going to go in on the center, just so that I make sure that they are as even as I can. This one can then go in like that in the center, so then I've got the same amount of space on there. Okay, so we've got this one stuck down. We'll put this one in on here. And I'm going to put this one so that this runs the same distance again, from there to there and there to there. And then this one's going to go in the middle. Because then by doing it that way, you're more likely to get it as even as you can. So that can go in like that. And then these ones are going to go in just sort of in the middle. So I'm just going to glue this and put this one down here, sort of halfway between them, like that. This one the other side. Like that. And then that one can go in on the middle. Now I can see straight away that some of them are not exactly equal, but I don't think it's going to matter by the time we've finished it. I did try and cut them at 1 by 1, but I'm not overly, and it's not too bad, not too bad. Okay, so those are my squares now put in, so that's the next bit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my gold Posca pens, and that's the fat gold and that's the thin gold. So the thin gold, what I want to do is I want to take that and go round the edges of here. So we're going to take this round here. I'm going to take it all the way round. And as you know, I do it once it's already stuck down. Some people will do their edges beforehand, but I quite like to have it not quite the same. So we're doing it that way. Turn it round, and I always do it so that it runs, the pen runs along the line of the bottom of the paper, because then you're more likely to be able to just take it and it'll run nice and smooth. So I can just take it quite easily all the way along, whoops, all the way along here. It says me just missing a bit. We can go along here. And it doesn't have to be overly precise, because you'll see once we start adding some splatters and things in, it will take it to a different level. So let's put this on here. Just doing them all the way around. I've got one here and I've got one there. Okay, So I've just put a little bit of gold around the side, which just makes it look a little bit better. And now I'm going to take my, I always use something quite hard. I use this to be able to splatter over the top. And can you see how I'm getting some nice gold splatters coming through? Like that. That's the gold on there. Now I want some white, because that can go in over the top of these. You see how that's going over the pattern, which is quite nice. Nice, like that splatter on there. Then I want some black. I wonder if that's going to come in dark enough. I want the black to go in as well. Give it a good shake. And I want the black to come in on the outside. Yes, can you see how that's coming in nicely? So it'll contrast the two together. Like that. So that gives just that sort of background look that I wanted. Let me put the right ones in the right ones. These are the fat ones, so they go in there. And then I've got my thin ones to go in the thin ones, which I'll put there for a minute. Okay, so if I just pick this up a minute, you can see how I've got all the splatters on there and how that brings it all sort of in together. Now, I'm going to do this on some craft card, only because I've got some craft card available and I want to use it. So if I put this on here like that, that actually tones in those colours quite nicely. I'm just going to move this on here for a minute to take those bits away, because I want to try and to make sure I don't get it all over the back. Okay, so that's going to come in like that, and I've left a big border because I happen to want a big border on there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a sentiment down in those spaces. I will do that bit when I've finished, because I wanted to show you, you can put whatever sentiments you want, but using up little tiny pieces of scrap, and by tying things in together, it works and it brings it all so that it looks beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed that. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye bye.